Hi Year 3, hope you're all okay. You're joining me for today, Monday's reading lesson. We're going to explore a little bit more about our class text, Leon and the Place Between. But first, let's have a go at a game. It's going to help us to develop our expression when we read. Let's go.
When we read, it's important we read to the punctuation, as this can change the way we add expression to our words. I'm going to have a go at the top line. Magic. Acrobats. Wand. See if you can work out which line I'm having a go at next. Magic. Wand. Acrobats. Your challenge is to have a go at reading each line to the correct punctuation. I'm expecting to hear the correct expression for each part. Pause the video and have a go. This week we're going to be looking at the Viper's skill of vocabulary. We're also going to do a little bit of prediction today too. As a checkpoint, see if you can write down 5 words to do with the topic of magic. Pause the video. I wonder which magical words you chose. Right, we're going to start with reading our tricky words. Can you read them with me? Unusual, mystical, special. For the spelling of special, I always think only special people can join the CIA because special has CIA in the middle of it. Let's look at our next word. Can you read it? That's right, it says disappointed. Do you know the root word? That's right, it's a point. You'll notice this word has the prefix dis on it and the suffix ed on it. Right, our last word says clapped. That's right. This also has the suffix ed to make it past tense, but you'll notice that there's been a bit of a change to it. What have we had to do? That's right, we've had to double the consonant, the P. That's because there was a short vowel sound before it. It had an A sound rather than a long A. So we had to double our consonant before adding our suffix. Let's look at our vocabulary that we might find in our text today. We're going to say it, shout it, whisper it, clap it, act it. What's our first word? Circus. Say it with me. Circus. Let's shout it. Circus. Whisper it. Circus. Clap it. Circus. And can you act it? Pause the video and have a go at the other vocabulary words on the screen.
Leon and the Place Between by Graham Baker Smith. Let the magic begin. I don't believe in magic, said Tom as he settled on the grass in the show tent. Around him, the crowd waited impatiently for something to happen. It's not real, hissed Pete. It's only tricks. Little Mo looked disappointed. Shh, now, whispered their brother Leon. It will be magic. You have to believe. Look, it's going to begin. The lanterns went out. In the darkness, the crowd fidgeted with excitement. There was a cough, a whisper, and then a loud hush. At last, a soft blue glow lit the stage, and the curtains twitched. With a ripple of gold braid, the curtains slowly parted.
This is our vocabulary and prediction activity today. You're going to need a piece of paper and something to write with. Based on the front cover, the title, and what we know about circuses so far, I'd like you to think about the words that I've shown on the board. We're going to think about where we're going to place these words on our bullseye target. The words that will be most relevant to our topic text, Leon and the place between, will go in the green middle section. The words that we predict won't be included as often in our topic text will go further on the outside, on the yellow part of our target. This is my turn. You can see I put magician right in the middle of the target because I think, using my good knowledge about circuses, they always have a magician who performs tricks. So I definitely think that I will see a magician in our story. I've put the word silence on the yellow part, on the outer circle. That's because when I went to the circus, it was very noisy. So I'm not sure I'm going to hear silence. So I predict it might be a word that we don't see as often in our topic text. This is our turn. I've put shouting by the yellow and the blue part. Why do you think I've done that? This is your activity. Today we're going to be thinking about vocabulary, and over the week we're going to be looking at the words in a context and words that interest us. For Chili 1 today, I'd like you to look at the board and then place the words that I've given you onto the target. If you're Chili 2, I'd like you to explain to someone in your house why you've placed that word on the position on the target. When might we see this word used in the text? Could you give an example? If you're going to go for Chili 3 today, I'd like you to predict and suggest some other suitable topic words that you can add to our target board. Hope you get on okay. Remember, you can always send it to Year 3. When you finish the activity, come back to the video so that you can join us for the next part of the story. Pause the video now.
I hope you got on okay. Let's do a check and let's read the next part of the story to see if we can hear any of the topic words that we've learnt or looked at today. Bang! 3 jugglers tumbled onto the stage to the pounding beat of a drum. Skittles flew, fast and furious, back and forth, up and over. Tambourines rattled, loud and louder. Skittles spun, high and higher. The jugglers twisted, fast and faster. Then bang! The skittles went up, but they didn't come down. Everybody cheered and clapped. The jugglers bowed and bounced away. Once more, there was only darkness. Now one dim spotlight found a barrel organ, still and silent on the stage. Everyone held their breath. The handle began to turn, but there was no hand upon it. Note by note, the tinkling song of a carousel started to dance from the pipes. Up jumped a barrel organ monkey, all made of wood and tiny hinges. He beckoned the moon to light the mechanical toys. A red-eyed crocodile snapped at a running boy's heel. A ballerina turned on her pink satin shoe. Painted animals paraded into the ark, and a flying machine lurched through the air, up, up, and over the moon. At last, the barrel organ fell silent. No one stirred. For a moment, the tiny creaks of the mechanical toys cast their own spell. Then they slowed, jerked awkwardly, and were still. The solemn monkey took a stiff bow, and the curtains closed to loud applause. "Now," said Leon, edging forward in the dark. "Now it's going to happen." Outside in the night, an owl hooted.
As part of our reading lessons, we're also going to be sharing at the end our other class text, Fizzlebert's Stump. I hope you're sitting comfortably. Remember, you can also be enjoying book babble at home with some of your books. Right, let's read chapter 1 of Fizzlebert's Stump.
Chapter 1, in which the hero is introduced and in which he is described. There are many boys in the world, all slightly different from one another, and most of them are referred to by names. These are often John or Jack or Desmond, but sometimes they are James or Philip or Simon. Once, and once only, there was a boy whose name was Fizzlebert. In actual fact, because like most boys, he had a surname that came after the Fizzlebert bit. He was known in full, for example when someone was cross with him, as Fizzlebert Stump. Most often, he was just called Fizz. So that you get an idea of what this particular boy looked like, I'll tell you that he had unruly red hair. To be fair, most boys have unruly hair, but only the especially brilliant ones have red hair. He wasn't short for his height, but he knew how to juggle 4 balls at once, though not for very long. Usually he wore jeans and a t-shirt like most kids, but over the top he pulled on an old coat that the circus ringmaster had outgrown. Did I mention Fizz lived in a circus? It was red with brass buttons, unpolished now, and in the rear it dangled down to the backs of his knees. It fitted pretty well because his mother had taken it in at the waist and shortened the sleeves, but the shoulders with their gold brocade epaulets were still a bit broad on him. To my mind, and to Fizzlebert's, it made him look dashing, but to most people it looked a bit, well, shall we say silly? Fizzlebert's mother was a clown. That's not to say she messed about and made jokes all the time, although she did, but rather that her job, the thing that she was paid to do, was being a clown. The sort with a painted face, big trousers, long shoes, a bucket of whitewash, a ladder, and an unfortunate sense of timing. It was because his mother was a clown that Fizz lived in a circus, and also probably why he was called Fizzlebert, which is the sort of name only a clown would think of. His father, on the other hand, was the circus strongman. A strongman is a chap who dresses up in a little leopard skin off-the-shoulder loincloth outfit, twirls his pointy oil black moustache and lifts things up above his head to the marvelling applause of the audience. These things are usually awfully heavy things, the heavier the better, such as great weights, or huge boulders, or bemused sea lions, or particularly fat children from out of the audience who have been volunteered by their parents, who believe such experiences are character building. Occasionally, he tried doing the act while lifting up smaller things, such as bunches of flowers, handkerchiefs or imaginary balloons, but the audience's reaction to those nights was never quite the same as when he picked up a child in one hand and a cannonball in the other and started juggling them whilst whistling and dancing the can-can. The can-can is a dance from France that involves kicking each of your legs up in the air, one after the other. The best way to get the idea is to ask your parents or some other suitable grown-up to demonstrate. There, see? Got it now? Super. I'll continue. Right, where have we got to? There's a boy and he lives in a circus. What could possibly be wrong with this life? Wrong? Why should something be wrong? Aha! Well, here's something interesting about a story. If everything is all right, then there is no story. It's just a happy boy with happy parents. It's a good thing, for sure, of course, without a doubt, but it's not particularly exciting. So let me share a secret with you. Fizzlebert wasn't happy. What? Living in a circus, getting to join in with the acts when they needed help, hanging out backstage with clowns and acrobats and jugglers, with conjurers and fire eaters and trapeze artists, with escapologists and magicians and beautiful girls in sequins who ride the white horses with dazzling feathered headdresses, with performing parrots and dancing dogs and prancing ponies all jumping through flaming hoops at the poot of their trainer's whistle, getting to travel from place to place with the whole gang, waking up in a different town each day. How could he not enjoy that? The excitement, the thrills, the magic, the thrills, the excitement, and so on. Well, truth be told, he wasn't very happy because there weren't any other kids living in his circus. He was the only one. His best friend was a sea lion. And not only are sea lions unable to play cards, instead of hands they have flippers, which are rubbish at picking things up, and are even worse at playing catch. They never throw the ball back, just balance it on their nose. But they're also lousy conversationalists, and they smell of fish. And so this introduction opens, eventually, with Fizzlebert Stump sat out the back of the big top late one evening, looking dolefully, which means sadly, miserably, gloomily, and also slightly boredly, at a sea lion who has just burped a tuna-flavoured burp in poor Fizzlebert's face. And that's also where the introduction closes, now that you've met the hero. Let's hope the rest of the story gets more exciting.